All right. Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining up with us on a Sunday for our monthly nutrition meeting with New Wave Swim Club's nutrition coach, Nichole Lee. This meeting is going to be focused on kind of a reintroduction of the general topics of nutrition that we go over, and focused on, engaging our Tidal Wave and Cyclone groups. So Nicole's going to run the presentation, kind of leave some time for questions and answers afterwards. I'm going to be recording this and letting people in and out, and hopefully her hosting duties and screen share will all work and everybody will be good to go. And I'm just going to kind of hover in the background. So this is Nicole's meeting for all of you. So, pay attention, have questions, interact, show your faces, all that kind of good stuff. And off we go. Nichole, it's yours.
All right. Hey guys, happy Sunday night. Like Ross said, I'm going to go through the presentation, go through some basic nutrition principles, kind of explain a little bit more what my focus is as a nutrition coach, go through how that relates to you and your training and how we can start focusing on some nutrition and hydration goals. And then I have my chat pulled up. So if you guys have any questions at the end, you can drop messages in the chat, or you can unmute and ask me questions. Between topics, I'll probably ask if there's anything, but if you want to save it for the end, that's fine too. So let me turn my share screen on, pull up my presentation, and we'll get rocking and rolling. Let's see, presentation, slideshow. All right, guys, everyone see this okay? Let me move my windows around so I can see everything. Okay, so what we're going to be talking about tonight, the importance of nutrition in the relation to your training and performance, how it relates to your swimming, macros and portions. I'll explain what macros are and how it relates to your portions and what you're eating and what you're putting on your plates. We'll talk about nutritional timing and how that is important to athletes specifically. Your friends that you go to school with who maybe don't work out and aren't in a sport, they may not have to focus on the nutritional timing of when they're taking in meals, taking in snacks, but it can be really important for swimmers and athletes. So we'll talk about nutritional timing and what that is. We'll go through some this and that options of healthier choices that you can be making. And then we'll go through some hydration and recovery tips instead of some of my suggestions for how to get your hydration in, different supplements that are helpful, sports drinks, water, etc. So the importance of nutrition. The more calories burned equals the more calories you need. So like I said, unlike maybe some of your other classmates, you are burning a lot more calories than your friends who maybe aren't in sports. So when you're in the pool, you're burning through calories, you're burning through energy. So you need to replenish your body with the calories and the energy that you're using in those swims. So it means we need more calories through our day, and we need more calories after those swims to make sure we're replenishing the body and fueling our body for our workouts. Higher energy levels required requires proper nutrition. So with your swimming and with your practices and with your meets, you are required to perform at a higher level. You have higher energy levels that you need to be able to perform these swim practices, perform at these meets. So it requires proper nutrition to fuel. So when we talk about calories that are in foods and needing more calories, your calories are your energy. It's like putting gas in the car. You need those energies, you need those calories to fuel your workouts. So making sure we're getting the right calories, the proper nutrition is gonna be really important to making sure you're optimizing your energy levels and feeling your best while you're swimming. Peak performance means you need the proper fuel from healthy, well-rounded meals. We could be eating all day long, all kinds of things, but if it's not the best choices for us, you may not be performing at your peak level, at your highest level, the highest ability that you have, where you could be if we just made some healthier swaps and some healthier choices along the way. Success, you need, in order to be successful, eating smarter and staying hydrated is really, really, really important. So at your age, but at your level, so at your age and at your level of swimming, you may not be super aware of how your body feels, or you may not notice that today I had a kind of maybe a lousy swim. I was more tired than maybe I was at my last practice, but it may not occur to you to think of, well, what did I eat before practice? Was it different than what I ate last week? Or did I not eat? Did I maybe skip something? Did I go through the drive-through tonight? Did I have a really sugary treat out of the vending machine? So starting to pay a little bit closer attention to what we're putting into our bodies and how that affects us and how it affects our success in our swims is going to be really important. So I'm going to ask that y'all start maybe paying attention to how we start feeling. I had the older swimmers start focusing on that this past year, thinking about, okay, if I had a lousy swim, or if I felt kind of crappy, or I felt kind of tired today, maybe that was in relation to what we're putting in our bodies and what can we do to maybe fix it. Okay, so let's go through what macros are. So I'm a macro focused coach. So your macronutrients. So when we talk about our calories, where are your calories coming from? What are we eating? So I'm sure most of you have heard of carbohydrates or carbs. You've heard of proteins and you've heard of fats. So those are your three macro groups. Those are the things that I focus on as a nutrition coach, making sure we get the right amounts and the right portions of those three things on our plate. So when we look at our dinner plate, you don't want it to be just things that are yellow, right? Just pasta, just corn, just bread, just butter. We want things to be colorful. We want to make sure we're checking all of our boxes. So you want to have a carbohydrate, you want to have a lean protein, and you want to have a fat. So we're going to go through what those are, and we'll talk about some lists and some example meals and some portions of what those look like and why they affect our nutrition and how they can be really beneficial to our nutrition. So your carbohydrates, it's the biggest macro portion that should be on your plate at mealtime. It is your biggest source of energy, and it is what fuels your workout. So it's what you want to have before your workouts. It's going to be, like I said, the gas in your tank. It's going to be that energy source. So examples of carbohydrates would be breads, oats, grains, multigrains, so like pastas, oatmeals, whole wheat bread, brown rices, vegetables, and fruits are all great examples of what a carbohydrate is, all healthy carbohydrates. There are some not so healthy carbohydrates that are going to be your simple carbs, which are like baked goods, cookies, crackers, sugars. All those things are the carbs that we want to kind of avoid. We want to go to those good, healthy carbohydrates. The next macro group are proteins, which I consider the most important macro. It builds and repairs our muscles. It is typically the macro group that most people are skimping on at meal times because none of us are probably putting enough protein on our plate. We're not putting enough chicken or enough turkey on our sandwiches, but it is what keeps us feeling fuller for longer. And it's what's building those muscles and repairing those muscles after workouts. So if you want to get stronger, you want to get faster, you want to be better at your sport, getting enough protein in is super important. And that's going to be the one that you want to be really, really mindful of getting that in at every meal. So for example, for breakfast, it could be some eggs, it could be some yogurt, a protein shake, a smoothie. At lunchtime, it could be deli meat and a turkey, like a turkey sandwich. Could be a grilled chicken breast, tuna fish. Dinner time, it's going to be whatever the meat option is on your plate. Fats, this is going to be the smallest. Fats usually get a bad rap, but we want fats because it does help us with, it is an additional energy source, but it is going to be your smallest portion on your plate. It can slow down your digestion. And we want to avoid some of the unhealthy fats that are considered trans and saturated fats. So the healthy fats would be like some nuts. So like butter, almond butter, some nuts as a snack, avocados, some oils, Those are going to be your healthy fats. Some unhealthy fats are things that you find when you get fried foods. The oil that your food is fried in, those are bad oils. Some meats have too much fat. Have you seen like a steak that has all the white marbly in it? Those are considered not great fats. So making sure we're getting all three of these on our plate in healthy portions, checking all of our boxes at every meal is going to be really important to balancing out your nutrition. So this little build a meal guide, this is going to be helpful. I know a lot of people will print this page and keep it on the fridge, keep it in the kitchen. So these are examples of how you can fill each macro group at mealtime, whether it's a snack, a meal, grocery shopping lists. But so there's a list of some really basic proteins, some healthy fats, some healthy carbs. Fruits and veggies will fall under your carbohydrate list, but here's a bunch of the fruits and veggies. These lists obviously don't cover all of our macro foods, but these are kind of some of the basics that most people eat or find at their house in the pantry in the refrigerator. But this is a little example of how you can decide where each food group falls under each macro group. And if you're getting a little bit of each group on you're in good shape. Okay, so how much should I eat? At around y'all's age, swimming as much as y'all do with the calorie burn that y'all are doing through all your exercise, through all your practices, you should be eating somewhere around 2,000 to 2,500 calories a day, which is a lot of food. But this is an example of how to break it down in grams. I know we won't be tracking this, but it is an example of just how much food you should be taking in a day. To give you an example of how much 100 grams of protein is, you want to be taking in about a cup of protein, cup and a half of a protein at each meal. So it's about, let's say, a cup of eggs, a cup of maybe some deli meat on a sandwich that's like 5-6 slices, and then maybe like a cup of chicken at dinner time. Those are going to be like your 3 big meals is going to get you close to 100 grams of protein a day. Let's talk about nutritional timing and how this is important and why it's important to you guys being swimmers. So it's going to be, let me go back. Okay. So the nutritional timing, like I mentioned on the first slide, is the timing of when you're eating snacks before and after a workout. So before a workout, post, after a workout. So what kind of snack should you be having before a workout? How soon should you be having it before your practice? And what should you be eating after your workout? And what should that look like? So pre-practice, you should be eating a snack 30 to 60 minutes. So half an hour to an hour before you jump in the pool, there should be a snack. That is before a practice. That is before a meet. So I know some of y'all's meets can get really lengthy in time. So we don't want to go too long before you get in the pool without some energy put in the body. But we wanted to make sure it's a healthy snack. It's not a candy bar from the concession stand. Maybe something that you've packed from home or a healthier option than some of the candies offered at these concession stands or vending machines. So with a pre-workout, we need energy. You need something that's going to fuel your workouts and make you faster, give you a little bit more energy, give you a little boost. And that's going to come from a carbohydrate and a healthy fat. My go-to is peanut butter and banana. So like a peanut butter and banana sandwich, a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, anything like that. The healthy fat's going to be your peanut butter or your almond butter. Your carb is going to be the bread and the banana. The banana is going to have a ton of carbs, the little extra natural sugars to give you that little bit of energy boost. Any fruit's going to be a great option. Peanut butter crackers, peanut butter pretzels, all of those things are going to be a great example of a pre-workout, pre-practice snack. Post-workout, now this is kind of depends on also Is it an evening workout? And are you going home right after practice? Are we going straight into dinner time? If you finish practice and you're going home and you know you're going to have dinner in the next hour, then eat your normal dinner, have all your macros on your plate, have a very healthy, balanced meal. If you know that maybe you're not going straight to dinner or you're not going straight into your next meal, you want to have a snack about 30 to 60 minutes after your workout, practice, meet, event, whatever it is. After you've exerted yourself in the pool, you've got about 30 to 60 minutes to get in a good snack. And that is protein. So the protein, like I mentioned, that is going to be what fuels your muscles, what repairs your muscles, and what builds your muscles. So what's going to optimize your workouts? If you're working your butt off and trying your hardest in the pool, and you want to make sure you're getting stronger after that hard workout, fueling your body with some protein afterwards is going to be really helpful. So a protein bar, a protein smoothie, going home and having a nice lean protein like a chicken, a turkey, some seafood, all of that's going to be a great benefit of getting the protein after your workout. Okay, let's go through some this or that options that we can start maybe looking at finding a healthier choice. So I know for a lot of us, it's really easy to just scoop into a vending machine if we need a quick snack, if we're not packing something from home. So the column on the left, your Pop-Tarts, your crackers or your chips, the candy bars, the fried chicken, the soft drinks, the candies are things we want to start maybe avoiding or limiting, especially right before we start swimming or after our swim or after our workout, and start replacing it with healthier items like fresh fruit, protein shakes, some healthy bars, protein bar options, maybe switching your fried option to a grilled option or a baked option. I know Chick-fil-A has great drive-through options, super healthy choices. Smoothie King, I've heard, is really close to the pool for some of y'all to drive through if you needed a protein smoothie on your way home. Some Greek yogurt. Some of these healthier options on the right-hand side are going to make you feel a lot better, help those workouts, rather than some of the things on the left. And like I said in the beginning, you may not know or feel or notice how the things on the left are making you feel, but I can guarantee if you switch to some healthier options, you're going to feel so much better and perform at just a higher level. Okay, last thing we're going to chat about, just a little basic overview of hydration and recovery. So I know a lot of us, this is person to person. Some people have no problem taking in their water. Some people I just find are thirstier people. I myself, I have to kind of force my water down. I have to remind myself daily to make sure I'm drinking enough water. I just don't normally wake up thirsty. Some of us do, some of us don't. So a rule of thumb, especially for athletes, when we're trying to figure out how much water we should take in a day, you should be taking in, and this is going to sound like a lot, 1/2 to 1 ounce of water per pound of your body weight. So if you weigh 100 pounds, you should be taking in 50 to 100 ounces of water a day. So a normal water bottle that comes in like a case of water, like plastic water bottles, those are only about 17 ounces. And if you need to be taking in, if you weigh 100 pounds, you need to be taking in 50 to 100 ounces. You're going to need a lot of those water bottles. So I usually suggest to people in the beginning, if getting your water in is going to be a new priority for you, you can get these bottles, these jugs on Amazon or at the store, where they have hash marks on them that tell you how many ounces are in it. And so you can kind of see line by line, where are you at in the day, how much more you have to go to help keep you accountable if you want to start focusing on hitting your daily hydration. So, and a lot of people think that because I'm in the pool, I'm not sweating, or I don't see the sweat, I don't need to be drinking as much as maybe a runner you see on the street running and you see the sweat coming off of them. You're still sweating, you're still losing water in the pool. So we still need to be recovering and replenishing our water loss from our workouts. During practice, during workouts, you want to be taking in about 8 ounces, which is 1 cup of water, about every 30 minutes. So every break or rest, you should be taking a swig of your water bottle. Don't forget your water bottle. Always pack a water bottle. Have water with you. Sports drinks, I don't mind. They're a great way of in your electrolytes, adding sodium to your hydration. So when you sweat, you're also losing. You've ever tasted your sweat? It's salty. You're losing salt, which is sodium in the body. So on top of your water loss, you're losing sodium. So the sports drinks help replenish your sodium loss as well. So these are great. Talk to, maybe bring a Gatorade and a water with you to practice. So you can do both. You shouldn't just have one or the other. Bringing both is going to be really, really beneficial. Okay, so that was my quick little overview of some basic nutrition guidelines, how it can be beneficial to your practice, your performance, building your muscles, getting stronger, getting faster, and how it can relate to your swimming. Questions, y'all can speak up over or take yourself off of mute, or you can drop something in the comments for me in the chat room or in the little chat box. Anything about macros, anything about hydration, portion sizes, snack options. I always get, no matter how many presentations I do, everyone wants to ask, what are some good pre-workout snacks? Do you guys have any questions for me? Quiet group. What are your favorite proteins if we're vegetarian? So good question. So when you're looking at a protein, when you're trying to get your protein in and you're vegetarian, do you eat any, who was that asked? Zoe, do you eat any fish, or is it completely no fish, no seafood?
I eat fish.
Fish, beautiful. So seafood's a great, it's going to be great. There's plenty of plant-based proteins if you want to make, or if you have a notepad and you want to write some things down as far as what are some plant-based proteins. Quinoa, if you've ever had quinoa, it's a grain, but it's high in protein. Hummus is high in protein. Some nuts, even though they're considered a quote unquote healthy fat, there's going to be protein there. A protein supplement like a shake or a smoothie is going to help get that down. If you're vegetarian, I don't know if you drink any animal byproduct, if you have like milk or not, but yogurt is really high in protein. So all of those things would be great options for you to make sure you're getting in those proteins. Can I get some good pre-workout snacks or drinks? Pre-workout snacks. So my go-to, like I said, is like a peanut butter and banana, or a peanut butter sandwich, peanut butter and jelly, some sandwich crackers, some pretzels. Even in this also pre-workout, I've told the older kids this. It depends on also when your last meal was, and when is your practice in relation to getting out of school. So this is a big thing. So if you guys are in school, and some of you I know eat anywhere between 11 to 12, let's say the last meal you had was at 11:30, and then you get out of school at 2, there was a lot of time that passed. You can have like another meal at that time. So maybe you have a turkey sandwich before you go to the pool. Maybe you have like a bowl of low sugar cereal, some instant oatmeal, any of those nice hearty grains, some granola. Granola bars, I don't mind, just we want to avoid the ones with a ton of sugar. Like Cliff bars are really, really high in sugar. That RX bar that I had on one of the screens, that's one of my go-to bars. So things like that, where they're going to be high in carbohydrates. Any fruit, apples and bananas are a great pre-workout. Yeah. Good question. All right. If you have an early meet, what can you drink or eat that's small? I usually try to avoid milks and solids before, as I feel like I will throw up. So if you have a hard time eating before we get in the pool, maybe try to eat a little earlier. So if it's early morning, sometimes it means that we have to force ourselves up a little bit earlier than we would like to get up. If you smoothies are a great way to get in a lot of calories without feeling like we're eating a ton. If you want to avoid the milk, you can do it with a low sugar fruit juice, like an orange juice that's not super high. There's no added sugars, or like a fruit smoothie with orange juice or just water. So fruit smoothies would be a great way if you wanted to avoid chewing something, but need the calories and need the carbs before a swim. Some cereal, but I know you said you wanted to avoid milk, oatmeal, trying to force your body to change a little bit, maybe giving, if you were eating 15 minutes before swim and that was making you feel like you want to throw up, maybe move it back to 30 minutes, wake up a little bit earlier. So playing with the nutritional timing as far as when you're eating, pushing it back a little bit, but not too far so that that food is still in your body and still ready to be used as fuel before you work out. Anyone else? Those were good questions. Did that help? No problem. Does anybody else have any questions about nutritional timing or finding some healthy substitutes of things that you like that maybe you know aren't the healthiest choices for you, but you don't know what else to eat in its place? Don't be shy. You can put it in the direct chat and I won't call your name out. I'll just read it and answer it. No one needs to know it's you. Is anyone super picky and have a hard time finding things that they like to eat that they know are going to be healthier? No other questions? Ross, was there anything else you wanted me to touch on for this group? With the basics of nutrition and what we need to focus on this season? Anybody? All right. Well, I guess we're good to go. I know Ross has this recording, so he will usually put it up on the New Wave website. If you want to go back to it, or if you want to be able to go back and save the save that build a meal sheet that had the breakdown of what food groups fill into what macro groups. Because that can be kind of helpful in the beginning when we start focusing on a more balanced nutrition plan or a more balanced diet, because I know that sometimes we get stuck in certain foods that we're eating and we're missing certain groups. Maybe we're not eating enough of one group and eating too much of another group of foods. So it's a good way to start balancing things out. No other questions? All right, guys. Let's see if Coach Ross has anything else he wants to say.
Or I would defer to Coach Scott, who snuck on here a little bit late.
Okay.
We'll give him a sec.
Okay.
Does not look like he's muted, but no, Nichole and I, we've gone over this several times. So hopefully that everything that was discussed today just kind of pushes some questions or maybe some observations from the group to start looking at it. I know month by month, the senior swimmers started talking more about it, even if sometimes their talk was just, I'm going to tell Coach Nichole what you're eating.
Turn it to tattletale.
Yeah. But, teenagers.
And it's a trickle effect, guys. If you start maybe making a little change and then you tell your friends like, oh, I feel pretty good, or this was really good before. I didn't feel like I was going to throw up today, or I didn't get a headache today, or anything like that. If you start noticing little things, but I'm going to ask you to start trying to pay attention to how you feel if you maybe tried something different or you changed the timing of when you ate something. Start maybe tuning into that a little bit more. I know we're super busy. We just kind of go, and you get to practice and you get out of practice and you go home, but you start kind of dialing into how your body's feeling a little bit more. You can maybe start pinpointing more questions.
In general, I'd say the biggest challenge that you'll find, and it's probably 1 out of 20 of you that doesn't, will be the hydration goals. It's a lot more than you think, especially if you don't count all liquids in your hydration and you only count water. So that's probably the easiest and most effective thing to start with.
And it can be a real game changer. I know a lot of swimmers that I've talked to over the last year or so was not everyone, but a lot of people struggled with headaches, and the hydration can really combat that. All right, guys. Well, thanks for joining. Happy Sunday. I hope everyone has a great week.
Yeah, and think about any follow-ups as you guys progress through this and start considering some of the adjustments, just what questions you have. If anybody finds that they really could use like a whole dietary overhaul, Coach Nichole does this kind of as a side job. I'm sorry, does things like this for us as a side job. This is her real job, and I didn't mean to diminish that in any way, but she's available to us to reach out to her one-on-one. And again, I will send an email that shows you where to find this recording and prior recordings and more information or contact information for Nichole if you're interested in anything beyond what we did tonight. So, Nichole, we're good?
Sounds good.
Awesome. Thanks, everybody. You are free. That was a nice, tidy meeting. Thanks for joining us.
No, it's not okay to put a sugar pack in your water.
They did sneak that one in under the.
Yeah, I saw that at the end. Don't do it.
Right at the deadline.
Yeah. Bye, guys.